What is going on, everybody? So we're on to the number 3 of the MJ companies I wanted to focus on. By the way, if you're new, I'm Susu, and if you're back, thank you so much for showing up. I greatly appreciate that. I want to look at Tilray because it's showing almost the same thing as CRON. Remember how if you look at the CRON video, in CRON, I talk about how it had that falling wedge. Well, immediately, let's take a look at Tilray and find out that it actually was dealing with the same exact situation. Now, when you're dealing with trend lines, by the way, we should show you guys, before we even get into that, we want to go right here and take a look at falling wedge. So you want to look at what's a falling wedge. It's a falling wedge pattern. And what you find out about a falling wedge pattern is that falling wedges often lead to something. So there's the falling wedge. You can see it, and then huge upside breakout, right? And actually, if you saw with CRON in its falling wedge, when it initially came out, it had like another drop, and then boom, from like 14 or 15 to 18. And you tend to see it's just like boom, dude, they pop off very fast. And that's why it's saying huge upside breakout, because they tend to have huge upside breakouts. You're about to see the same thing with Tilray. So this is a falling wedge pattern, by the way. You want to make sure whenever you're doing charts that you have at least in your pattern, you want to make sure that at least you have 3 lines touching. And the reason why is because that works as confirmation. Now you're going to get right up here, you're going to get 3 touching right away right there. And I know that it all counts. Remember that when you're doing charting, every single touch counts. So if it's 3 in the beginning like that, then it's 3 in the beginning like that. Remember that, because even though they're very close to each other, they still work to make the pattern. So let's say we take that there. You got that. You could even have went from the other one over there if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter to me. You could have went here if you wanted to. You can go like that. That's fine with me too. So you can go right down here like this, and you're going to have the same thing. You're going to have at least 3 touches. At least 3 touches there. But I like this one because that's where it all started. You go right here, boom, you got your 3 touches along the lines. And then right here, if you take it and duplicate that line. And by the way, I use an iPhone, so when people wonder how am I doing this in TD Ameritrade, it's not TD Ameritrade. It's actually me taking my chart in TD Ameritrade, taking a screenshot of my phone, and then from there working on it with the tools that is within your iPhone. And I have an iPhone 10. If that I don't know if that's useful. I don't know if that's different for other iPhones or what. But so here you go. Member CRON, CRON, member Chronos, same pattern. And look, if you're doubting whether or not this thing is encapsulating anything, look at this. When you see this, this isn't coincidence. Look at that. I mean, this is all you see, all kinds of people charting on StockTwits, so you know a lot of times the chart makes sense. But if you look at that. I mean, it absolutely 100% is going down this like a funnel, like a wedge, like a funnel wedge. It's like going down a drain. It's almost, and it is getting just totally destroyed. And look what it does. The very last touch right before, just like Chronos, right in here is where it would have almost totally closed up on it, right? Almost totally closed up, and look what it did right before then. Boom, out. Just like CRON, it initially pops out and then it treats the top. We'll change this line to blue so you can see it turns that into its support. Look at the CRON video, go watch it. It popped out the same way, and then look what it did. It used this as its support, and then boom. Now, what happened with CRON and what happened with Tilray? Both of them blew up until they popped out. Barely popped out right there, but it popped out of the Bollinger Bands. And that's what prevented it, because it just prevented it from continuing to run, because, of course, Bollinger Bands on regular price action, even if it's a breakout, tends to reject it because it's overbought or oversold. So look what it did. Went down, fell all the way back to here because the bad news that all the MJ sector is dealing with because of Canntrust making everybody skeptical that these numbers are even real anymore, because they're concerned now how many other back-ass deals have taken place and potentially jeopardize the the nature of the whole industry now. And that's just the way investors think. They have to, because they have, not like me and you, some of them have millions of dollars on the line. So let's take a look. It has to stay above this line here, because if you look, that's the lowest it's gone since it broke out. The lowest it has gone is back to it treated this right here as the top. So that's the lowest it has gone, which would be about 38.80. I mean, that's going to be around 38.80. So pretty much that's what you're looking for. You're looking for this to make sure it does not go to there. I think that it'll get some support here. As you can see, you got the bottom of the Bollinger Band coming up. that should come up and treat it. Even if it breaks it barely, that would be oversold, and it should give it some support. As you see, it has treated it fairly decent in the past. When it reaches that point, it tends to get little bounces. Since it's in an uptrend, even though it doesn't appear like that, but it did break out of the downtrend, so it's technically in an uptrend now, because it did the whole, it literally went boom, boom, and the hope is that it goes back from there. If that's the case, then it's totally confirmed this is an uptrend, and you'll be in a good place. So what you're hoping for here is a hold at 38.80, right above those guys right there. I mean, right there. You want that to be, if it breaks that, you're in trouble again. So we don't want it to break that. As of now, I'm thinking that hopefully tomorrow you get, maybe one more little drop and then it reverses. But that's what I'm seeing for Tilray. If you guys were wondering how it got to the place it was, why did it come out of the drop in the long term? What's the deal with it? Is it ever going to break out again? Well, we just saw, it seems like it did break out of the downtrend. It feels like it was in an uptrend, and then just all this bad news dragged the whole MJ sector down. But the hope is it got to maintain above 38.80. In fact, that might be a fantastic place to buy calls, like I said, on the short term. So if it gets to 38.80 and touches through the Bollinger Bands at the bottom, boom, maybe it's a good idea to buy the $40 calls. And just, if it's a Friday, don't do it. But if it's like and don't buy it for that Friday. But if it's like a Thursday and the next, don't do that. But buy a week out. Just buy them the week out. So if it's a Wednesday, buy them for the following week. And there's a potential there that it goes to 30, 39, and then just boom, right back up to 41, 42, because of course that might be exactly what it needed. It just needed to go back to that support, boom, get off it, and then it continue its uptrend. So that's it for Tilray. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you're watching. Tell me how much you love certain stocks and what I might be able to do to help you, because I love to. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Thanks, guys. Peace.